Welcome again, Nissan GTR fans. So I'm gonna have to blame this video on a commenter that usually comments on my channels, Travis Walker. You mentioned that you got this TLV one because it has disc brakes. So I like to live life on the edge. I figured I'd buy this and I bought it online. So I have not opened this thing up. We don't know if it's gonna have paint problems, which I usually seem to have because I'm the unluckiest collector in the world apparently. But let's take a look here. So, this is the 2020 Nismo GTR, LV-N217, and then some Japanese text there. I don't like this packaging. Why does Tomica make us buy this cardboard? It just takes up space in storage, and if you don't store it, it's just more garbage that ends up in a landfill or the ocean. So, it's just unfortunate that they do this stuff. Just having a bigger box, it's just unnecessary. The other models can show up in a small box perfectly fine. So here's some stats apparently. The dimensions, the weight, pretty heavy vehicle. Let's see, 600 horsepower. And torque, pretty high as well. Okay, so I don't read Japanese, so can't tell too much there. Yeah, this is just unnecessary. This amount of plastic and cardboard. I don't know why there's all this tape down here. Any explanation, guys? Why would that be there? It's actually sticky. It's actually tape there. Maybe this vacuum forming isn't strong enough and they decided to back it with tape. So that's strange. Alright. It's got that little, I think that protects against scratches during shipping, that little piece of plastic. So that I can understand having because you don't want to scratch up the car. So let's see what else I find. On a Motor Trend article I found their review of this car here, and this car apparently dropped 66 pounds off the previous version, and the thing has carbon fiber front and rear bumpers and fenders, so that's a large part of it. But also the brakes are carbon ceramic brakes, and they're 16 inches up front, 15 inches in the rear, so that's bigger than a lot of cars' wheels from 20 years ago, so that's pretty crazy. The thing is $212,000, so it's a $35,000 price hike over the year before. But you are getting some, obviously, upgrades. These are 20-inch raised wheels. I bet each one of these wheels is worth $1,000 or $2,000 alone. Because I know the cheapest ones, the small raised wheels, are like $500 a piece. They're forged, that's why they're very good. Okay, so that's really all I learned about this thing. Oh, the last thing I learned is the twin turbochargers are getting pulled out of the GT3 race car, and that was for quicker spool-up times, quicker throttle reaction. Alright, so let me just focus back on the car. Unfortunately, the headlights are so reflective, it might be hard to actually see, but okay. These photos are actually from that Motor Trend article. So this model is a silver one, whereas the photos are white, but I have to imagine it's still mostly the same, as far as the mold goes and the details of the body. Okay, well, that should be enough time for you guys to pause the video and decide if it looks like those photographs. It does look pretty accurate to me. Alright, so let's start with the top view. In this case, this is supposed to be carbon fiber, but it's kind of weird. It's just too big, You would never see stripes of carbon fiber that big, I don't think, in this vehicle. So it's strange that TLV would make such a big graphic. It's almost like a HotWheels, actually, the graphic of this. Oh well, I guess it's better than just being plain black. Let's see, we got, well, I'm looking for the wiper blades. Where are they? So that's a complete omission. It looks like this is where a wiper blade arm would be, but there's no like molded in or not even a printed on windshield wiper. Shouldn't there be? Right? Maybe right there or something? It's just weird. It's not there at all. We got some black paint for these vents here. That seems okay. It's interesting. These hood bumps are quite angular. I'm used to seeing the more blobby oval ones. Alright, the blackout of the window seems okay. This is neat. It's got like the little dotted speckling. So it's like those advertisements you see on the side of a bus window where it's a bunch of dots so you can see out of the bus but you can't see into it. I would have to assume that's accurate to the real car. Alright, you know what, let's go reverse order. The dashboard here, it's nice details and all. The seats have some red paint, so that's pretty cool. A little overspray, but it's not super bad. I like saying super bad, I don't know why that is. I always think of that movie. It wasn't really a good movie, but... Alright, okay, alright, yeah, the red is definitely oversprayed. It's not the best application. What about those seats in back? No color there, but that still might be accurate to the real car. I'm wandering into instruments. I don't see anything in the instrument cluster, but I think that steering wheel might be a different color. No, it's not. It's just gray. So you just got some red on the seats. I guess that's better than nothing. You know, it's nice to have some color in there. Okay, let's go to the front here. Totally white license plate is the first thing I see. Totally unrealistic. In case you guys are new to my channel, I like to bash on this brand because they seem to be expensive, yet have so much less detail than like N64. So I have to call them out on it, you know, and I have to let you guys know. If I can convince more people to not buy these things, they will clean up their act and make a better product. That's my goal. Okay, so the GTR does look good. And then the black there, I think it's cast, painted black, looks pretty good. It's nice that the silver is painted, but this is not silver, so that's a hard app for them to do. And same with the red in here, so that's good. And then the red stripe is pretty nicely done on the chin spoiler. So a lot of paint details going on. These are just painted on, so that is questionable. You know, if this was N64, those would probably be plastic. Alright, the headlights, they are plastic, and they have some good details behind them, you know, the light binnacles and stuff, so it looks pretty good. And there's some silver printed on the thing, so that is actually nice, a lot of extra work there. Okay, so front end, not bad, not bad. I guess it's one of the better ones. Let's go to the side here. So it is a metallic silver, it's not bad, it's not super flaky. It's not the finest silver, but it's not the worst silver. So it's okay. And alright, so it is rare for me to get a TLV with brakes because I generally collect the old classic ones, not the Neo ones. So this is probably my third one that I have that actually has brakes, but I probably have 25 to 30 of the classics that do not. So that's one of the reasons why I give them a hard time. I don't see why they can't update those older molds and put some brakes in them. Okay, but the tires, I mean, those look like military sci-fi tires to me. They just, the side blocks are just so big. It's actually like molded into the side block. I don't see it on the photograph of the real car, so it's a strange choice that they did for molding these. I just don't understand why those wouldn't be smoother, right? What do you guys think? I mean, it looks like a sci-fi vehicle, right? It's even beyond off-road. It's really strange to me. Okay, but the wheels do look good. You have the 5 lug nut details, the center cap, and then you got the giant yellow caliper, and it's actually covering the outside edge of the rotor, so it's realistic. The Vision Gran Turismo car has some weird disc brakes where the caliper just floats inside the rotor, but this one looks good. Alright, definitely rolls. Alright, so the treads do look good here on the bottom. Yeah, and it seems to be staggered tire width, so those look pretty accurate. It's nice that they tell you what the car is. It would have been nice to say 2020 though, because, you know, there are changes in the years, right? And it would have been nice if it was screwed together so you can modify it. This is from 2020, so it's a pretty new casting. Alright, door handle is flush, and that's realistic. This little accent here, I think it's silver on the real car. So it's obviously silver here, it's being a silver vehicle. But they have the little vent area here. I don't know if those are real vent on the real car. I think they are, but they got it. Alright, and I think there's a separate paint process going on here, so that looks good. The panel gaps are actually quite tight, so that's good. And then the side black here is good. The side mirror is a separate piece. Physically looks pretty good. Oh, and there, that's nice. It's very rare for me to see paint on the mirrors of a TLV. So, I wonder if my complaints are getting through to some people. No, probably not. No one cares about what I say. I just do this for fun, guys. I'm never going to influence this industry. They're like, who's that fool? Small model collector. They never even heard of me. Okay, anyways, these are looking really good. You know, there's some dimensionality, and they're obviously clear red plastic, so very nice. Although I gotta say, in the photograph of the real car, the centers of these are supposed to be white. So, I don't know. I feel like it would have been nice to have co-molded, or, well, you know, in certain lights, maybe like right there, it kind of looks like the middle is white. Right? It looks lighter than the edge. Yeah, I guess it's alright. I don't know how they could have done it better, because I think if they put white paint in there, there's a good chance it wouldn't be 100% concentric. That's a problem I see a lot with the Mini GT ones, where the white in the middle actually isn't in the middle. So maybe they played it safe for the better. And then, this is kind of weird. This white license plate is just printed on. I don't think I've ever seen a printed on license plate from TLV. They're always usually the plastic. So that's weird, you know? It's kind of like they're cheaping out, even though this came in one of the rectangular boxes. I mean, with the square boxes over the rectangular ones. Alright. Now, the printing, I can see an R. I think that's a Nismo on the left side. It's just hard to see because it's on a silver car, but there, you can see some sort of color difference. So it is printed. And then the Nissan badge, it's printed, but obviously you can't read it. It's really hard to see silver on silver. And then the tail exhausts are good because there's depth to them. It would have been nice to maybe have some black in there, but at least it's dark, so that's good. You know, looks dimensional. And the rims are painted blue. I would assume they're trying to mimic titanium. But why only on the edge? It would really be on the whole outside surface if it's a titanium exhaust. So that's a bit strange as well. Okay, well, anyways, the red stripes here are looking pretty good. There's some molded in vents there I didn't even see before, and that red stripe carries around the whole vehicle. The side skirt is actually a different color, and the paint is pretty nice here. That's alright. So that's cool. And then, what is this, a reflector maybe? Or maybe it's a brake light? A third brake light barely low? This is actually the high third brake light, I think, this white rectangle. And then the wing is pretty good, you know, not super thick plastic, so no complaints about that one. Alright, so I think that's everything. Now I'm just kind of looking over it to see if there's any paint problems, because I bought, you know, when I first bought these TLVs, like more than half of the ones I got had paint problems. But pleasantly, I think this one is flawless, as it should be for the price of this thing. Alright, so I'm really happy. I'm lucky. This one's good. The only paint problem is on the inside where it doesn't count as much, so no, I'm good. Alright, well, TLV, Travis, good call on this one. Let's compare it to a couple of other Skylines that I have in my collection. I did a video on all the Skylines I had. There's like 41 of them, I think, in that video if you want to search. It wasn't my intention to collect Skylines or Nissans, but for some reason, I have more Nissans than other vehicles. I think more Nissans than even the Ferraris in my collection. And then for some reason, I have more Skylines than any other one car. Alright, so let's pull out this Mini GT here. And this one does actually have taillights that are concentric, like the white in the middle of them doesn't look so bad. See, you can see the white in the middle. I'm gonna slow this down, sorry. That'll be a little better. Here is another Mini GT with the Liberty Walk body kit. This one does have a slightly off taillight where the middle is not concentric. I also painted the silver on the wheels, and then I also painted the interior of this black Mini GT, so it's not your stock one. But see that taillight? It's not 100% concentric, so that's kind of a risk that Mini GT took, and it seems like it doesn't always work out for the best, because I have another Mini GTR with a messed up set of taillights. But anyways, here's a top view. So they all look, you know, appropriate in their scale. Actually, the flanking vehicles are wider because they have over-fender kits. Okay. This is a yellow race car from the Super GT series. And this yellow car is made by a brand called Kyosho. So that's a fully raced out version. And I'm going to take these off actually, because I want to compare it just to a street car. This pink one is an unknown brand. It had no branding on it at all. So I can't really say who made it or how you could search for it online. I found it on AliExpress, I think, and it's just shown with a picture of like 10 other different colors. And it came with some pretty messed up tires that look even more off-roady than this TLV one. So I did a wheel swap. And these are wheels from a brand called Word C, which again you can also get off AliExpress or eBay or whatever. Just look up alloy wheels. And then I also painted the interior of this pink car gray, since I opened it up anyways to swap with the wheels. Okay, but anyways, you can see there that even this little cheap no-name brand is pretty good actually once you swap out the wheels. And this no-name brand also did not paint the middle of their taillights with white or silver. Alright. Well, let's let this thing spin on its own. It's every model gets its chance to spin on its own. So this time around I was lucky. It's sad I have to say that, but with TLV, I do have such bad luck. I would still say more than half of mine have paint problems. It's slowly getting better. If I maybe if I end up with 100 TLVs, then the majority will actually be good, because I usually only buy them from a store after I inspect the paint. For me, online, just it's a risky proposition, but my local stores, you know, they didn't have this in stock, so. Okay, well, if you like GTRs, this one was for you guys, and if you watch my channel, you know eventually I'll have another review of a Skyline, not a Skyline, of a Nissan GTR, although I still call them Skylines. Alright, I will see you around. Thanks, bye.